everybody, Lisa here with another Vera Bradley bag of the day. I'm not actually going to be using a bag today, um, but there was a small incident over the holiday weekend at my nearest factory outlet store, and so I thought I would just show these two items that I got. And I should say at the outset that I completely blame my husband for this because it was his idea to go to the outlet mall in the first place. So it's not my fault. I did, however, use a lot of self-restraint, I feel, because I only got these two small items when I really could have gone to town. Anyway, I thought I would show them just because I know not everybody lives near an outlet store, and it's one of the new patterns, so I thought I would show it in case people want to get a more live look rather than just seeing it in pictures. And this pattern name is Waikiki Paisley, so I guess they really are going with this Hawaiian theme with some of their newer outlet patterns. And I should say, I mean, I really have I've never been to Hawaii. I have no real knowledge of Hawaii. So when I think about Hawaii, the first things that come into my mind, in no particular order, are Laird Hamilton and big wave surfing, surfboards, of course, luau's, hibiscus, although again I have no real knowledge of the flora there, and also, and don't kill me people, but Don Ho. Dating myself, Melikalikimaka. But in all seriousness, I've never been to Hawaii, and so I don't have a true understanding of the culture there, the real landscape there, and literally the colors of the island or that are prevalent on the islands, or even the colors of the water there. So I can't vouch for these patterns. I mean, they don't really, like this and High-Low Meadow, another outlet pattern that is in limited release, but they're going to be I was told they're going to be getting a few more items soon. They don't, those two patterns don't really scream Hawaii to me. But like I said, having no knowledge of the place. But I find that that's not unusual. I mean, with pattern names in Vera Bradley, I mean, there are a handful of other patterns that come to mind for me that are named after locations and really don't bring those locations to mind at all, or they're named after or a thing, and they aren't really reminiscent of that thing. So, like for example, the pattern Barcelona. We were talking about this in the online focus group recently, and I mentioned the pattern Barcelona because I find that it really it doesn't make me think of the city. I've been to Barcelona, and it's really such a lovely place with such warm, welcoming people. I mean, I'm Italian by descent, and I have spent years living in Italy, so I have a fondness for Italian things and people and the culture. I'm a little biased. However, when we were living there, we did take the train over to Barcelona. And, Italians have a reputation of being a very warm, loving, welcoming culture. And they are. It is that. But when we went over to Barcelona, I I mean, the people there were even warmer. I mean, it is the location in Europe that I have found the warmest, loveliest people. And when I think of Barcelona, of course, what immediately comes to mind for me is the architecture of Antoni Gaudí. And it's very free flowing, the forms are not rigid. Uh, a lot of motifs from nature, and not a lot of repetitious grid-like pattern, and a lot of color. I mean, I think of his mosaic work that's all over the city, in beautiful color. So the pattern Barcelona is very sort of monochromatic. It's very dark. It's dark to me. It's grid-like to me. It's very structured. And so, I mean, I'll give it to Vera Bradley, but I do think it's a stretch. I mean, I'm sure there are other architectural influences in that city, and maybe you could, argue a case for that pattern being named that, but it is not what I think of when I think of Barcelona. So that's a big one for me. And also, the pattern Northern Lights. I mean, I looked at that pattern for the first time and I said, have any of you guys ever seen the Northern Lights? Even a photo, maybe? So, um, also the pattern Key West. There's a woman in the focus group who has, excuse me, did one of you just burp? I heard that. I don't know if that came across through the video, but somebody just burped. It wasn't me. So there's a woman in the focus group who has a real knowledge of the patterns, and she shared a photo of a pattern Key West, and that has absolutely nothing to do with the city of Key West. My godmother lived in Key West for over 30 years. I've spent over 30 years going to Key West every year, spending a lot of time there. I know the island very well. And that pattern says nothing about what the island is really like. So every now and then, I feel like Vera Bradley comes out with these names out of left field for their patterns. But it doesn't really bother me. Maybe if I were Hawaiian, or if I were from Hawaii, it would bother me that these patterns don't really scream Hawaii. But again, I haven't been to Hawaii, so I don't have a true appreciation of what the culture there is really like. And maybe some of these colors are very prevalent there. But anyway, I do feel like when I first saw this pattern, Waikiki Paisley, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't really make much of an impression on me. But in person, when I saw it in the factory outlet store this weekend, I really was attracted to the background colors. And what's nice about this pattern is that there's more than one background color, and I noticed that happens on occasion in some of the patterns. Like it happens in autumn leaves, and I'm sure there are other patterns that it happens in, where the background isn't all one color, and that happens here. And it's great because these blues are just so vivid and really make you think. They make me think of the Caribbean, the water in the Caribbean area. I don't know what the water, like I said, what the water looks like in Hawaii, what the colors are there. But that's what drew me to this and made me want to get these small items. I do prefer this pattern in the smaller items because it lets you focus on the background color more, and you can pick and choose what area of the background you want, and that really changes the look of the pattern, which is kind of neat. And on a bigger item, you're going to get a mix of the background colors. So for me, the smaller items work really well. This is the tech case, and this is like the mid-range background color in the pattern. And I just like the swirl, and I like the combination of the chartreuse elements and the lavender elements. I'm not crazy about this purple here, but I do like the lavender and the with the background colors and the chartreuse. I like that combination. On the other side, you're getting a bit of the darker background tones. This is a little bit darker, and this is the darkest. And to compare, this is a Kiss coin purse, which I know I always say I love to collect these. They're very easy to collect. They're like candy. And here you can see the lighter colors just to compare, especially in the bottom section, where you're really getting that nice lighter aqua color. I also like the fact that you get that little bit of the chartreuse in the center there. That's why I picked this particular one, because there were other Kiss coin purses with the lighter backgrounds. But then on the other side, you're going to the darker background tone again. But I like that sort of spray, that flower spray there, and the bits of chartreuse. So, you're losing with a pattern that has very big elements like this. When you go and get to the smaller items, you're losing that overall sense of the pattern. But it's almost like blowing something up, and you're just blowing up the details. And so it's just like you're abstracting it even further, and so it's kind of neat. Again, this is like a little bit lighter background tone there than this one. This inside color is nice too. Nice kind of deep teal, or I don't know, kind of, yeah. It's looking a little bit on the screen. It's got like the blue has a little bit more red in it, so it's not as green looking. But in reality, it is a little bit greener, a little bit more aqua color lining. The outside is photographing more accurately. The lining, the tech case, for people who might be interested in the size, it's almost 7 the long way by 4. So I wanted that for my iPod, which is smaller, or to use as a wristlet. Well, I wouldn't use it as a wristlet, even though it has a nice cloth wristlet strap, so I will leave that on. I could just see carrying this as a wallet when I don't want to take a big bag with me. Inside, you can see, is a solid lining, nylon lining. I've heard that on some of the new signature releases, there's a cotton lining, and that they may be moving back towards doing the cotton lining more, at least in the signature stuff. So that's kind of nice. I mean, I don't mind the nylon. I miss the pattern. For me, that's almost more important than the fabric. So I opened this up, and it's great that it's not black. It's nice that it's a pretty color, but it would be even nicer if it were a coordinated pattern. It's got the ribbon zipper pulls, though, which is nice. So anyway, just a quick video today to show people, let people get a look at Waikiki Paisley if they haven't seen it yet. It's one of the new factory outlet patterns. I don't think I would get it in a large bag, although I've seen photographs of people's large bags with this, and I think it looks very pretty. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't think it's for me. I think it's a little loud for me. It's a little bold for me. But I do like it in small touches, which is what these smaller items, let you do. Just have a little taste of the pattern. So hopefully tomorrow I can do I have to go out, so I will do a bag video and maybe a wallet video for Wallet Wednesday. Just love the swirls there. That's in the way. I like the swirls here. So even though you're not getting a full paisley, you're getting these swirl elements that are very abstracted, and it's kind of nice. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.